Hey, Messenger, welcome to the Market Your Message Show. I'm your host, Jonathan Milligan, and author of the brand new book, Your Message Matters. And we're all about helping you learn how to rise above the noise and get paid for what you know. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Messenger Product Map. What is it, and why do you need to know about it? And whether you want to write, teach, speak, or coach, you want to podcast, you want to do live streams, you want to be a YouTuber, you want to blog. We have so many things that are accessible today to spread our message and to get it out there. But I also want to talk to you about how to earn income with your message as well. So here's what you're going to discover today. We're going to talk about how to take your message and create over 12 different income streams from your message. Why Amazon paid out over $220 million to self-published authors last year alone. What a staggering number. Why Forbes is expecting the e-learning industry to climb to over $325 billion over the next decade. By the way, that's for us online course creators, and much, much more. So, before we get into that, you might be wondering, Jonathan, I have been wondering how to get started. I see more and more people blogging, podcasting, creating businesses online. I want to write, I want to teach, I want to speak, I want to coach, but how do I get started? Well, we've put together a simple guide called the Discover Your Message Blueprint. Now, this is a 9-page guide that'll help you understand and actually answer the 3 fundamental questions. What's your purpose? Who are your people? And what's the passion that you want to build a business around, right? And when you understand your purpose, people, and passion, you've put together a powerful message that can make influence, impact, and income in the world. So again, just go to marketyourmessage.com/discover. All right, so what I want to do is I want to kick things off by actually showing you something that I cover in my book. And this is actually in chapter 13 in the book, Compile. You can see here, I talk about 12 different income streams that you can create, whether you want to write, teach, speak, or coach. So let me show you those right now. And by the way, there's more beyond this, to be honest with you, but these 12 can be earned across almost any industry, whether you want to write, teach, speak, or coach. And again, we're going to go and divide these up in just a second and kind of walk you through this step by step. But here's the point I want to make. A lot of people are like, I don't know how to make money. How do you make money with a website? How do you make money from something you're passionate about? Here's what I want you to know. There are lots of ways. In fact, when I first started, it was a career coaching blog, and I only knew of like 2 or 3 ways when I first started. I knew that I could put up, a resume service on my blog that let me redo your resume. I knew I could coach people, and I knew I could put AdSense on my site and earn AdSense advertising revenue. That was it. But then as I began to do research, I began to find multiple ways. I created an online course. I found affiliate income opportunities where somebody else had a product or service and they would pay me a commission to share it on my website. Lo and behold, after about 2.5 years, I had implemented 12 income streams into that career coaching blog that allowed me to go full time into blogging at the time. Since then, I've also started a couple other brands online, and I've taught other people the same system that you're learning about today. So in my book, really I believe it's chapter 4, I talk about the Messenger Product Map. And that's what I want to walk through with you real quickly today. So let's take a look at that. And here's how I like to divide up the Messenger Product Map. I like to divide it into what I call the 4 influencer voices: writer, teacher, speaker, and coach. So whether you want to write, whether you want to speak, whether you want to teach, whether you want to coach, here's what I want you to know. There are income streams for you. Now, you might be, and I'll show this again in just a second, here's what I want you to know. You don't have to do all of them. You can develop these skills over time, but what I often encourage people to do is actually start with what is your natural influencer voice. Now, we have a quiz, and we will post a link down in the show notes for this free quiz that you can take that will help assess whether your natural influencer voice is more of a writer, a teacher, speaker, or coach. But for now, what I want you to do is just see that there's lots of different possibilities. So let's kind of jump into each of these. Let's start with a writer. So underneath writer, there's a Kindle book, audio book, and physical book. Now, this is important because you can actually write one book but get paid 3 different ways. And you can actually do this by self-publishing. You do not have to go through a traditional publisher to get your message out there. In fact, my very first book back in 2015, that's what I did. I wrote the Kindle book, then I turned it into a physical book, and then I recorded the audiobook. And here's the crazy thing. Still to this day, I get paid in all 3 of those ways every single month from people who purchased one of my books, right? And so actually in the chapter, I talk about this, but here's the crazy thing. Amazon last year paid self-published authors $220 million. That's incredible. So there is a tremendous opportunity for us through writing-based income streams. All right, so that's a writer. Let's take a look and let's go down one to teacher. So if you have a teacher's heart, what income streams are available to you? Well, there's an online course. A membership site is a great outlet for you if you love to teach, because you're always coming up with new topics to talk about, and you're oftentimes teaching people in a live environment. There's also a paid webinar series where you actually have people pay you up front to get access to 3 or 4 live webinar sessions where you'll go in depth and teach from a one-to-many model. So there are teacher income streams. Now, I mentioned this in the book under teacher-based writing income streams, but this is interesting. I did the research, and according to Forbes, the e-learning industry, which encapsulates online courses and membership sites, is expected to climb to over $325 billion over the next decade. What that means is, I believe less and less people are enrolling in online university or going back for some of those degrees. It makes sense in certain professions, but in others, people are actually purchasing courses online to learn the skills, the things that they want to learn. And so that's where you as a teacher can make money. All right, let's jump back in. Let's go to the right side and let's look at speaker. Now, if you have a desire to speak, there are at least 3 different ways you can get paid. You can get paid to speak, like at keynote events. You can get paid to host your own live event, or you can actually do a workshop, which is a smaller event. Now, when I first got started, I started by actually doing my own paid workshop. So this was a higher ticket event, so I charged $5,000. We only had about 10 people. We limited it to 10 people, and we spent 2 days together. And that was easy to manage. Then over time, I started doing live events. And the last time we did an actual live event, in-person event, back in 2019, we had 80 people come to our 2-day event. And so you can get paid to speak. Now, obviously, all of us are looking for the Holy Grail, which is we want to go on other people's stages and get paid, and you can. In fact, you might be thinking that might not be possible for you. But when I did the research for the book, Pete Vargas, many of you might know him from Advance Your Reach, he talks about the 9 major sectors today, and here they are. Arts and entertainment, business, education, personal finance, wealth, family, government, health and wellness, media, and religion. Those are 9 sectors of people who are paying for people to speak. Now, even right now, while I'm actually doing this video, we're still kind of going through the effects of COVID, but there are people who are getting paid to speak virtually. So whether you get paid in person or you get paid virtually, you can get paid to speak. And then lastly, number 4, bottom right, is coaching. So here's some ways you can get paid to coach. You can get paid to do one-on-one coaching. That's where I started when I first got started with accounting careers coaching. You can do group coaching where you combine a group of people and you coach them together. And you can do a 1-year mastermind where people pay to get coached by you in a long-term setting. Now, here's what's interesting. What are you? Would you consider yourself to be more introverted or more extroverted? I know for me, I'm more introverted. And I'm going to show you kind of what's interesting, an interesting point here in just a second. But I wonder, which one are you? Maybe you say, Jonathan, I'm both. Maybe you say, I'm more extroverted. Well, here's what's interesting. When we look back at this product map, notice the more on the left side you are, the writer and teacher side is more introverted. These are income streams that typically you get paid from 1 to many. You kind of control it, and most of it's online. Now, notice the right side of this messenger product map, speaker and coaching. This is more you're rubbing shoulders with people one-on-one, whether you're doing a workshop, a live event, speaking at an event, doing coaching. You're rubbing shoulders, you're interacting more, right? And so that doesn't mean that if you're introverted, you can't speak and you can't coach. I have lots of friends who get paid to speak, and I've been kind of surprised how many introverts actually speak for a living. It absolutely is true. But I just find it fascinating that you can start where you're comfortable. I was more comfortable on the left side of that list, writing books and doing online courses and doing a membership site. Then as time grew and as my audience grew, I started doing more of the stuff on the right side, getting out and speaking, hosting my own events, doing more coaching. So I find that fascinating as well. So what do you think? Do you like the messenger product map? Is that something that's a helpful tool for you? Did you get some ideas today? I hope that you did. Well, listen, if you've enjoyed this episode, would you take a moment to hit like, subscribe, or even share or review our show? And also, what episodes would you like for me to cover in the future episodes ahead? What topics would you like for me to cover for you? Let us know. But until then, never forget, your message matters.